No, this is, all right, this is not a formal meeting, okay? Let's be casual, we're all friends, okay? So,
来交朋友。
对，我们是来交朋友。那 in all of us， 我的中文最差 ，so when I don't understand, I will say 我不懂。Okay, so I'm Christine Xu, and I'm based in the Bay Area, and I am the co-founder of this organization called 爱祖传交流会 Love Boat Alumni Initiative. We started 2 years ago. Why did we start is a little bit of a story, but there was a networking event with alumni people, and one of them, who went 1984, his name is Lyndon Wong, he said to me, because I used to run these happy hours all the time. Happy hour is a happy hour. To me, it's no big difference. It's no big deal. But he said, you know, Christine, when I was on the Love Boat, I was 19 years old, and they wanted me to Aiguo. They had all this propaganda stuff. I could care less. I was just there to have a good time. But he said, now look at us, 30, 40 years later. And he said, if there was ever a time that Taiwan needs overseas support, it is now. And that was a very stunning comment, because in fact, somebody took a picture of me and him saying that at that moment. We have that picture, because that's when I thought, he's absolutely right. There are, we now know there's 15,000 to 20,000 students who went through the program. That doesn't even include the local counselors. So that's a lot of people. Even if what we say is, even if only 10% of all those people wanted to come together and do something meaningful. It doesn't have to be political, but there's investments, tourism, summer camp, so many things. Raising awareness of brand Taiwan. There's so many things that we can do that's meaningful, right? So that's when we formed the Love Boat Alumni Initiative. And actually, we intentionally did not call it Love Boat Alumni Association because it's not just about reunions. That's no big deal. We can have reunions all day long. What the end goal of this initiative, and of course this is going to change over time. We're going to meet our goals, and we're going to have another goal, and we're going to have another goal. Okay, this is endless what we can do together. But the main goal comes from the demand. Okay, no company can survive unless you offer a service that people want. And the biggest demand outside of reunions is for their children to go on the Love Boat program. Okay, I'm one of those parents, but I speak for many. Okay, so of all the things that people are asking for, besides reunions and events and dinners and hiking and all the social stuff, is that we second generation want our third generation to not forget their Chinese roots, their language skills, their culture understanding, their ties to Taiwan. And so I'm a great example of a parent who has sent my child. My son is now 12. We have brought him back so many summers and attended so many kind of camps, international camps, local camps, Da'an recreational sports camp. We did language camps. They're terrible. Not terrible. They're just not sufficient enough to make a dent in my child's education of the culture and the language, okay? It can be fun. If it's all day intensive language training, that's not fun for them either. So that's why I speak. I can tell you there's so many parents that have the same complaint, including parents who did not go on the Love Boat. They all, unfortunately, okay, so my child went to a Chinese immersion program. We went to Chinese speaking, kindergarten, preschool, kindergarten, immersion. Immersion means half day Chinese, half day English. No matter what, by 3rd grade, 4th grade, the kids speak English to each other. You cannot stop that from happening. Same thing happened to me when I was younger. I spoke Chinese with my parents at home. Once I go to school, I'm just speaking English, and there's no turning back. I didn't start really learning Chinese, 我的国语都没有进步, until I decided as an adult that I wanted to learn. Unless you are in an immersive environment, you cannot expect these children to learn Chinese. Saturday Chinese classes, they don't want to go. They don't want to learn. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, but we send them anyway. So anyway, I'm kind of going on. There's so many issues at hand, but the main goal of the Love Boat Alumni Initiative right now is to figure out a way to relaunch the Love Boat program. We all know how meaningful it was, so I don't need to go through the details of the language, culture, the exposure, seeing the experts doing all the performances, in the closing ceremonies, us performing ourselves. Some people say it's brainwashing. Some people say it really changed people's hearts and minds. So from that, we end up with 3 initiatives. Our website is loveboathalumni.org. Okay? This is just a simple website. It's done on Blogger. It's temporary. We need funding to hire developers to create a dynamic website. That's down the road. But it gives general information. And the key tab, if you do nothing else, look at nothing else, go to the initiatives and you will see these 3. All right? And just very simply, the 3rd one is the ultimate goal. How can we relaunch the Love Boat program? Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So the first one is simple, and yet it's not. In order for us to, unfortunately, there is no directory of counselors or students. We have asked we have asked the records back then were too old. So at the beginning it's on paper, okay? And then it was discs, with those floppy disks. And then, and also Chao Wei told us they have a policy, unless I misunderstood this meeting, I'll tell you about a meeting that we had with them. They said every 3 years they sweep their data. They don't keep it. It's some kind of law that says, they can, for privacy reasons, they can only keep student records for so many years and then they have to flush it out. That's what we were told, okay? What about the yearbooks? Can we at least get a copy of the yearbooks? That discussion has been had many times. Different people, OCAC, I met with the Deputy Minister, Elaine Lee, and I told her, we need the yearbooks. Can we borrow the yearbooks? Can you find the yearbooks? Nobody knows where they are. They called Zhou Guotan. Zhou Guotan said they don't know. Now Jason has more information. He said he saw a bunch of yearbooks, but let's just, my point is that even if right now we have, 有人来了吗？
哦，提供
地瓜，
来，
哇，好难找。我2年5次到以后，跟人赚了多少钱？我从这个巷子里面开着车子，考驾照一样，多少南山去转来转去。几乎连街没有停车位。
他知道。
咱们去找快了，前一年的时候，他is the one first came director when you 建韩烧。
可是我们讲英文讲得很快，会不会太慢？
他原来是我们看的。
昨天也去看时间，那边
是室外施工。
我是说我们讲英文。
他没有抵抗外交官，
还要考试。
后来到韩国带
他去停个车子。
我不晓得这个艺人。
你先讲啊。
That's okay, I'd rather wait for him too, because it's important to know some of the background. But in any case, so just so all of you know, I do like to make, at least keep all of our.
I was surprised. I just sent in a say, would you like to come? He said yes. He didn't say anything. I said yes.
Do you know Mr. Yu?
Okay.
He was director of Zhou Guotan.
Oh, great.
In charge of all.
He's only the official, actually, among the group.
Right.
He's a officer. He's a camp director when Jiantan first year for the study tour. Before Jiantan, actually the study tour was in Furen Dashi.
Okay.
And he's a camp director when start from Jiantan. And many of us been working with him. At that time, he's later on he becomes he went back to the Ministry of Education. Then he joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and stationed in Korea, right? He's a Korea.
Yes.
Korea's culture and education sections
So
director.
if we
He was in Korean，他是韩国华侨啊，回来念书的，现在后来他也去那。
他说不是啊，
他不是吗？哦，
他说
他学韩文，
他学
他是正大学韩文。
哦，真的，他真的。
So we have someone that prestigious here, what's the best way for us to learn from him? how should we use our time well?
Christina, how much time you need for giving a
I'm
brief?
gonna walk.
I think because we just met last time, and before that we have no idea about your organization. Oh, we heard something, but never really get a complete.
Yeah.
Thanks to email and John, they keep on feeding us with more information about you. I think within this very short period of time, 2-3 weeks, we put in a lot of work to understand your organization.
That's great.
Actually, it's not very simple. Let me go through this whole thing. I need only
Yeah.
3 minutes
Yeah.
to finish. But however, what are you trying to do or
Yes,
to achieve? The goal you're trying to achieve.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna
It's-
walk
it's,
everybody through.
It's a very big goal. Okay, it's a big objective.
Yeah.
Now,
Why these people here? There's not so many, but I have to say at least among our own group, the local councillors, this is the people to be here today. It's important. So let's not. I would like to say, I don't see today is a so-called 讨论,
no,
or we are coming here to suggest, or we're coming here to give our opinion, or we're going to say something about should we have this or should we not to have this. I think today our focus should be very clear. Your initiative, your goal. We didn't get involved before. And we are not sure how we're going to get involved in the future. But today's purpose should be how we can help to achieve that goal for all of us.
Joseph,
And so let's focus on what can we do.
yes,
Don't
that's
talk about the problems a lot. We all know that. Okay?
100%.
There are a lot of political issues, a lot of
Joseph,
circumstances.
Yeah.
Timing change.
Joseph, I'm with you 100% at all my meetings. I don't want to talk about the past, who did what, whose fault it is. I would like to solve the problem. So right now, what we're trying to do is we would like to relaunch the program, okay? Now, let me just show you this on the screen. There are 3 different ways that we want to explore as far as how to relaunch the program. You guys can read about this later, but I'll just tell you. There's 3 ways. One is we can try and persuade Charlotte Wei to relaunch it. That's a different story. The second option is we alumni, those that are interested, can put together our own camp. We already have alumni that are running summer camps here. They're a week long, 2 weeks long. They're not 6 weeks Love Boat program long, but we're not a dumb audience. This is a very intelligent, capable audience. If we want to do a program, we can do it. The third option is to copy what Israel did because they have their own Love Boat program and they're called Birthright Israel. We've been around for 46 years. Birthright Israel just celebrated their 25th anniversary and they did it better than we did, I have to say, based on my research. What they did and what OCAC should have done is impact studies. They work very closely with a university called Brandeis University. They do appropriate surveys and they determine how the program impacted people and the country, Israel. This is their success page. It's front and center. It shows.
Do we know how this was funded?
Let me just get through this. Okay, so you can see they have their data. But what really struck me was $2.3 billion was contributed to the Israeli economy because of their program. So many participants from different schools, and they ask, personal questions. How did it impact you socially, professionally? Did it impact your career? Did you go back and invest in Israel? They did this. And if you think about it, there are thousands and thousands of research studies about everything from worms in the ground to trees and how they grow. Before OCAC shut down the program, this is my opinion. You run a 46-year program, spend so much money, resources, time, energy. You shut it down before you understand the impact of it, that's a mistake. If they had only done the research, I strongly believe they would have found very similar data as Israel. Israel has a page where they produce all their publications. They have dozens of publications that they produced. Because impact means different things. How did it impact the economy? How did it impact the society? How did it impact the overseas community? How did it impact people's social lives, marriages, friendships, lifelong friendships? It depends on the professor and the studies, their area of interest. These impact studies can go on forever. But I like to follow this model. We don't have to, I use this model only because it is a model.
是这样。
Come on.
慢慢来。
没有关系，我们等你，我们等你。
是这样，慢慢来，慢慢来。哎，famous singer。
Yes, yes. 你坐前面吧，你坐前面吧。你好，你好，欢迎，欢迎，欢迎。
本来我做方案，
这样
自己找，
坐旁边，
坐他们。
坐旁边，对不起，对不起。
哦，很高兴你来。
来。
嗨，你好。
Do you want to tell us who you are? 他们都知道你是谁。
我不需要说英文吗？
你用中文就可以了。
不要吧。
都可以。
我是李世坚，我没有参加过美加，但是我是民国69年国际社会研习会结业，然后
It's a counselor school.
参加过我们中国
参加过那个 international
That is
seminar
the
international
winter break program.
Winter break program.
Yeah, it's
China study program.
counselors.
China study.
seminar China study.
Yes, seminar. Seminar.
We have a second microphone. Yes. I'll just take the second one. You can keep this one
I'm
here.
sorry I'm late
Don't
because
be
I
sorry.
came all the way.
这很难找。
仿中立，去做仿中立。
你是今天英文名字。
Robert. Please call me Robert instead of Robert. Okay, I need one T after Robert. Otherwise, I'll become a bank robber, which is a title I don't like.
所以国际事务
Okay,
联
Robert.
1980.
Do you know Bertrand Mao? He was the founder of the Love Boat program.
I'm afraid I don't.
这个人，
Actually, I have never heard of this program before.
Labo 有
Love boat, yes. Love boat, yes.
这个他们的这个 Alumni Association，Alumni
this person was instructed by the Ministry of Education to set up the Love Boat program in 1969. That's 1967. At that time, it was under the Chinese embassy. It had not yet become the Taiwan embassy. Okay. He has 4 daughters. He's still alive. He was supposed to come to this reunion, but they have some personal challenges. But he will likely be at our next reunion in Pasadena in September. He has 4 daughters. 3 of them went on the Love Boat program. The youngest is named Lisa Mao. She is one of our volunteers. She's our ambassador in Washington, D.C. Because Bertrand is still, Mr. Mao is still in Washington, D.C. He still teaches art. Okay. But anyway, so I was just wondering if anybody knew him because he's a big deal. I mean, he has the history of how it all started. I can send this information to you guys afterwards, okay? So what was I saying? I need a little help to remember what I was saying.
We were just talking about the wanting to have impact study. And
Oh, yes.
the question is just
Yes,
like, how
yes,
do we
yes.
move
Okay.
forward on all
Yes.
this?
出生
Right?
在这样子。
So, because
So-
they're looking at how they.
So the impact studies that they did, look at this, 85% of alumni feel that Birthright Israel trip was a life-changing experience. 100% more likely to feel very connected to Israel, even 20 years after the trip. Intuitively, we all know that the Love Boat program had very similar impacts. But without this impact studies, research studies, we can all say this much, but we don't have the data. We don't have the data, okay? So,
Counselors help us.
well, let me get through the overview, and then we can talk, because again, when I run meetings, I like for them to be an hour, and I just like to stick to that. I know today's gonna be over an hour, but I'm leaving this for the States on Tuesday, and it's hard for me to get back to Taiwan because I have a 12-year-old child and I have 85-year-old parents, and it's not easy for me to get here. So let me take a step back first and just thank you all for coming. You have to understand the journey to get here. As an ABC student, 1991, I have to say, during my time at the Love Boat, I had very little interaction with local counselors. most of the interfacing was the overseas counselors. I knew that the local counselors were in the background doing a lot of the work, but I feel like the interface was more with the OCs. And as we started building this organization, so I'm the co-founder of an organization called 爱之船交流会, a local alumni initiative. We don't call ourselves local alumni association because we are not just about reunions. We have objectives. We have 3 very clear initiatives, but the ultimate goal is we would like to see the Love Boat program relaunched. Okay, it ended 13 years ago as we knew it. So the original goal was let's push 侨委会 to relaunch it. Let's just forget about the past and let's prove to them that this is. Well, we figured without this kind of impact study, they're not going to believe us. We can just say, oh yeah, it changed our lives. It was life changing. We met our spouse. I moved back to Taiwan because of it. I worked here for 8 years. Blah blah blah. No one, everybody, even us, a lot of us alumni, we would like to see this study. 46 years of a contribution. We need to know. Go ahead.
Thank you for telling us a lot of things regarding special from the side from the United States. But since I have read what you said before online, so I think we narrowed down our objective like Mr. Han told us. I think the very first important thing to know is that things are changing now. You talk about 侨委会, I don't think that's a institute we have to count on. Yeah.
Let me get through this. There's a lot of.
先不要谈好吗？
对，
这个问题，
因为我知道有
这一个题
很多
目可以谈3天3夜。
对。I'm just telling you our 3 objectives.
先让他
I'm telling you our 3 objectives,
然
okay?
后我看我们
And
等一下
exactly how.
有任何一些有组织性的，怎么达成他们想要的目标，
Yeah. Okay.
我们
So.
就提，好不好？他的问题的部分，就是我们要应对的，他们已经应对很多年了，所以他们比我们清楚这中间的困难在哪。
Well, I'm just telling you our 3 objectives, and then I'm going to ask.
当然没可以。
Okay, so in order, so that the initial intention was we need to pressure 侨委会, and we have to have the data in order to do this. Then we discovered Birthright Israel. One of my Jewish friends said, we have the same program, and we have data to show that it's worth it. It makes sense. So then we started studying their model. Now I'm not saying their model is the perfect model. No model is perfect, but it is a model. We don't have to reinvent the wheel from scratch. We can at least take from their knowledge. I have invited them to attend our next, to talk to us about how they're set up, how are they funded, how did they come to the conclusion that they did. Okay, but along the way, we learned from their program because they outsource a lot of their activities to small companies, hiking companies and kayaking companies, and they actually make money. Then that's when we realized, wait a minute, we don't need 侨委会. The alumni who are interested in launching their own program can do it ourselves. It's a very capable group of people, why not? And a lot of our alumni are already running summer camps, so that's what I was saying before you came up. Now, the third possibility, so one is we push 侨委会 to do it. 2 is we forget 侨委. So far, 侨委会has not been very helpful. And then 2 is we figure out a way to do it ourselves, which is a great opportunity. We can do it better. It's a new day, new technology, AI. We have so many things. It's going to be better no matter what. Okay, many people say it was outdated. The program was outdated, so we can talk about that later. The third option is we can do something similar to Birthright Israel. The way they do it is they have 3 sources of income. One is private donors. There's a lot of very successful Jewish leaders in the community, in the business community, that the Jewish community, they care very much about their next generation. They care very much that they stay connected with Israel. They have their own reasons. It's not the same reason as Taiwan, but it's the same mechanism. It's a camp that they use. Theirs is a 10-day camp. Ours is there are lots of differences, but the concept is the same. The impact is the same. The studies would be very similar, okay? The first group is private donors. The second group is Jewish organizations around the world. Jewish foundations, many of them are run by family foundations. They contribute a lot of money to their program. And the third source of income is the Israeli government. So if you think about it, private donors of Jewish organizations worldwide, plus the government. The whole Jewish community is supporting the benefit of their next generation. It's actually a beautiful model. I'm not saying we should do that either. All three options have their pros and cons. Okay? It's going to take time for us to decide which is the most viable model. But before we can make that decision, in my opinion, I would like to see this impact study. I would like to know 46 years of government assets, contributed, 15,000 people impacted. I would like to know how many people moved back to Taiwan, how many people invested in Taiwan, how many people do business with Taiwan. There's just so many questions to ask, similar questions to Growth by Fiscal's publications, okay? So initiative number 3 is how do we relaunch the program? Initiative number 2 is let's do the research studies in order to relaunch the program. But initiative number 1, we can't do the research studies until we have enough alumni to reach. And unfortunately, we cannot reach the alumni. Right now, we have 600 some people in our Facebook group, our private Facebook group. Let me take you to it. And the only way people hear about us is through word of mouth. We are trying to collect, we're trying to collect the yearbooks, but we only have about half of the yearbooks. Think about it, 46 yearbooks. Can you help me find the group? The Facebook group.
It looks like you might have to.
Okay, I don't need to show it to you. Okay, so anyway, we are not going to raise funds in order to design our own, hire web developers to design our own website for people to come. No one's going to come. We are using Facebook. We are using our private Facebook group. We're using our private Facebook group to stay organized. We're not going to recreate the wheel, because so many people are already on Facebook, especially the Taiwan population. A lot of people use Facebook. We also use LinkedIn. Everybody has a profile. If you're still working, you typically have a profile on LinkedIn, so we're using LinkedIn. I have done this before for another organization. We raised the money, we built our own website, nobody came. Everybody's still on Facebook and LinkedIn. It's a waste of time and money. So we're going to use what we have. That is the only way we can find people. That's why I keep pushing, Chalo, do you have the data? If you can't give us their telephone, their address, that's fine. Privacy issues, I get it. But if you can just give us the names, the years, the campus, that would give us a baseline to start looking for everybody. Because remember, 1976 is the only class we know of that found everybody. Whoever answered the phone, they found, I think, 95% of everybody in their yearbook. They diligently called every single old phone number and found their people. So now every year they have their own 1976 reunion. In fact, this year is their 50th anniversary. 1976 to 2026.
60 years.
50.
Next year will be 60 years anniversary for
the Love program. The Love program. Yeah. So we cannot do the research studies without enough data points. In other words, we need X number of students, alumni, and counselors in order to do the surveys, in order to get the legitimate data. And we cannot relaunch the program, at least in my opinion, we need this information. We need this impact studies. Even if nothing happens after the research studies, even if we present this to the government and say, you know what, the local program contributed $1 billion back, 46 years of tourism, investments, businesses, visits, and it impacted the economy by $1.5 billion, and the government says, well, that's nice, we're not going to relaunch the program, we don't care about it. That's fine. At least we have this information. Everybody understands. Everybody understands that this was a highly impactful. Those are their 3 initiatives. Initiative number 1, we got to get organized. We got to register as a nonprofit. We got to raise money, hire staff, at least 1 full-time employee, me, and then another. I mean, as much money we can raise, we can have more people. But until then, trying to reach alumni is extremely painful. There is no way. On Facebook, there's 1998 group, 1991 group, 1992, it's all, there's a counselors group, right? And so those are our 3 initiatives. Right now, so I'll explain how Israel is set up. They have 2 separate entities that do this. One is based in New York, and they run like us, 爱族传交流会. They do promotions, they do reunions, they find all their alumni, they encourage you to go back to Israel. In Israel, they have a different foundation, a different entity, completely separate board of directors, separate funding, separate operations, everything is separate. They run the program. They run the program. In fact, if you go to their website, it's set up like travel.com. And it's set up like Expedia. You sign up because there's only a 10-day program. Okay? 10-day program, that means you can sign up all throughout the year. They can have multiple groups every summer. Whereas in Taiwan, we only had one group per year. 6 weeks, right? You sign up just like you buy an airplane ticket. You choose the dates that you're available, and you go online, you register. They're very sophisticated. Highly recommend we look at that model. So that's where we are. And so we would be similar to the New York headquarters of the Israel model. We clearly cannot address the campsite because we're based in the States. And why I'm calling this meeting with the local counselors is because, so again, remember, I don't know much about the local counselors. I have very little interactions with the local counselors. But then I ran into the Secretary General of the TECO in Atlanta. I somehow met him. And I was like, oh, I'm involved in this. I just found out, do you know about that? Because a lot of the Chow people, they have never heard of the Love Boat. They have never heard of the program.
They're too young.
They're too young. And you know, it's been 13 years since it's natural turnover, okay? It's nobody's fault. You know, I'm not saying that Chow Hui must relaunch. However, it makes sense to at least work together with them because they are Chow Hui. There are some people who say, Christine, you're wasting your time, let's just ignore Chow Hui and Dartmouth. That's possible. But I feel like the other very common theme that I hear from a lot of alumni from many generations, they say, we want to thank Chow Hui and Zhou Guotuan for giving us this beautiful gift, this life-changing gift. But there's no way to thank them. How do you do that? First of all, the original founders are not here with us anymore, right? There's no entity that you can say thanks. There's no thank you board. So they feel this urge to give back. They want to say thank you. They want to help. I have a recording of someone from 1976 who left a message and said there was a typhoon or something. She goes, Christine, my name is so. You know, I want to know if there's a hurricane fund, a typhoon fund that I can donate to, or if they need my help, I can fly back and volunteer. This Taiwan government did such a wonderful thing for me, it changed my life, I want to give back. So many people feel that way. You can understand that. 6 weeks is a big deal. When I met in 1981, we paid $300 plus a plane ticket. And that $300 covered 6 weeks of room, board, you know, bus, transportation, Sunland Lake, you know, all of that. So there's a real deep desire amongst many Love Boats alumni to somehow, it's funny because they can't express it. They try to tell me, but they can't finish the sentence. But what they're trying to say is they are just grateful for the Love Boat program. It's a beautiful thing. And if you have a chance, we have a YouTube channel called Love Boat Alumni Initiative. We did a professional 2024 reunion video, and it tells the whole story of the Love Boat program from the time it started to when it ended. And in the middle of it is credits that thank the original founders of, you know, Chow Hui and Zhou Guotuan, the people who originally, it's just an open thank you that says, we really appreciate what you did for us. It was life-changing, and we're just very grateful, you know? And so, what I said to, so I met this guy, Elliot Wong. I said, have you ever heard of Love Boat program? Because many of Chow Hui and TECO, they've never heard of it. He said, yes, I was a local counselor. I was like, oh my God, when were you a local counselor? He said, 1987. Did you want to say something?
No, he wants to say.
Okay, hi. So I thought that was odd. Remember, I'm just a student. I don't know anything about the local, I don't know the operation, I know nothing. I was like, wait a minute, the Director General, TECO, of Atlanta was a former counselor. Okay, that's kind of weird. That same week, I met Chow Hui's 亚特兰他的那个主任，欧主任 is retired, recently retired. I introduced myself to him. Do you know about the local Y? He's like, oh yeah, I was on staff in he doesn't remember what year. I said, you worked for the local. He's like, yes. That's 2 data points. So I happened to talk to my mom has a very good friend, John Shit. He is a professor of U.S.-China-Taiwan relations, political relations. You got it? Oh, is this man? Anyway, so my parents are very good friends with a professor who specializes in U.S.-Taiwan-China political relations. He is invited back to Taiwan all the time to speak. I only know his English name, John Shit. His wife understands Taiwan politics, I do not. And I mentioned it to her, I'm like, how is it that the only 2 officials that I've met were both involved with the Love program? That's when she educated me and said, Christine, back in the days, those positions were very competitive. The people who were allowed to become local counselors, they had to apply for the job, they had to qualify for the job. And I said, oh, did they get paid a lot of money? Because it's a lot of work. I said, no, they got very little money. It was an honor to serve. Then I started putting all the pieces together. And at some of our meetings, our internal meetings, I'm like, we have to talk to the local counselors. I think they know something. I think they're the key. And so when I had the reunion, and so many of you showed up, I was so honored. If just one of you came, I would have been really happy. But so many, Joseph, the fact that you were there, you took over the microphone, I was stunned. I couldn't sleep for days after, because you all do hold the key. You know how it was run, you know the history, and if only you guys can do the next step. We ABCs who live in the States, again, like Israel has 2 different separate organizations. Even if we were to raise $2 million on our side, and we hired 20 people, it still doesn't make sense for US-based people to run a camp in Taiwan, or run a program in Taiwan, okay? And so one of the questions I wanted to ask the local counselors, the question is not, will you please relaunch the program? The question is, could you help us look into it? Because we cannot do it. I will reach out. If you want me to reach out, I can read it. It'll take me 10 years to read 1 page, okay? So, but let me back up a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna start from simple to complicated. The first ask is, every summer, so many alumni and local counselors come back to Taiwan. You probably know this. We come back, we bring our kids, we go to camp, we travel, we visit family. We come back during the winter break. We come back during Chinese New Year. Right now, this reunion showed us that if we could have somebody on the ground to just organize 1 event a year. July is when they all come back. Camps begin after July 1st because the schools here end at that time. We have what we call ambassador teams. We're setting up ambassador teams in every city. Chow Wei Wei has 13 locations in North America, including Canada. We are setting up representatives in each of those locations because, again, when we have an event, we would like to invite Chow Wei Wei to speak. Very simple. We're not asking for anything else. Let's just reconnect with the entity that created this program, okay? And but we don't have a team in Taipei yet. And all we ask of each team is just have 1 event a year, maximum 2. Why? Because, so San Francisco is the model. We started in San Francisco, we have a lot of activity. What's happening organically is we have 1 major meet and greet, people get to know each other, and now they're sharing their own events. Many people are involved in the community. They're part of this organization, they're part of that organization, or they're going to attend an event. They've been posting and sharing their events on our private Facebook group. I've already gone to 3. One of us works at Stanford. She said, oh, there's a Stanford seminar, the former ambassador to AIT is coming to speak. I went, you know, and then somebody else said, oh, there's some sort of orchestral performance, blah, 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 and a bunch of people got together, we went. In other words, it's not on us to plan every event for every location. Our members are already active in the community. They're already attending events. They're already organizing their own events. It makes more sense and it's more sustainable to simply have them share their information. So in the Bay Area, that's already done. It's already happening. So in each of our locations, we've asked the ambassadors, We're just asking you to run just go to the local bar. We went to the Cellar Lounge last night. We have a relationship with them. They're next to the MRT. You don't even have to look for a location. Just use that location. But if there would be a team here, it only takes 1 or 2 people who can at least run one summer event. I guarantee you, all of us alumni are going to plan our trips around that event. We're coming. It happened this time. So that's one ask. Okay, that's a simple ask. We can even give you pass the information we have to the Cellar Bar, or you can just have an event at Gen 10. Have an afternoon tour. A lot of people love that tour. That tour became very disorganized because there were so many people on the tour and they were lingering behind talking, and it took like an extra hour to get out of that tour. You know, it's simple. Now, we can do it from the States, but it's just more difficult. We did it this time, right? We just called Gen 10 and we said, we're coming on this day, we're renting the space, and we did it. That's a simple ask. The second ask is more complicated. How can we reach all the counselors? How can we reach all the alumni? Who is in Taiwan? I asked John, is there a directory of local counselors? And your answer was, you have that 51 chat group, the senior counselors are in that chat group, but otherwise there's no directory. I didn't expect you to have a directory. Nobody has a directory. We have to take these old, here this week, Jason is smart enough to bring his, why don't you pass this around? This is the 1995年的那个Now, even with AI, even with scanners, even if we raise money and hire a bunch of interns, imagine how we have to scrape this data in order to rebuild. 哎，你的护照也在这边，要小心一点。Anytime we can either raise a lot of money and have an ad in the Super Bowl.
后面做事嘛，主务。
对。There are many ways we can reach alumni. We can either raise money and do commercials, which is not the way we want to go. We can keep doing it slowly by word of mouth, word of mouth. Please tell your friends, and your sisters and your cousins. Or we can use the media, which is what we're doing right now. Every time we have a big event, we send out a press release to all the media. The media contact, there's only World Journal, was it 世纪日报, whatever. There's only about 10 to 20 relevant newspaper media outlets. We can reach them all. We know people in the media. Alumni are media people. John's daughter works for SFgate. She's a reporter, and we are going to pull her into this too. It's not difficult. We got a lot of media people. We got tons of media people. That's not a problem. But anytime we hit the news, whether it's good or bad, it still reaches more alumni. There is no other way. So initiative number 1, to get to initiative number 3, we want to do the research projects for initiative number 2, but we can't do initiative 2 until we have more alumni, we reach more alumni. So we have a lot of challenges. So anything that the local councils can help us do would obviously be appreciated. Now, whether or not we can relaunch the program, that is obviously a much bigger question mark, and this is where I would pass the mic to Joseph. Let me make sure I covered everything about the initiative, okay? And by the way, we have a mailing list. If you are interested in connecting with us, you go to our website, there's a tab called Connections, and it tells you how to get connected with us, but the best way is our Facebook group. Again, we have 650 people, almost 700 people now, and that is our central engagement platform. It's where our events, let me just try to get back on real quick. Let's just see if I get back on here.
It's okay.
Here, why don't you just, if you want to take it over and I'll try to look for it.
Yeah, they can look further. I think the key is trying to here, there.
Yes, Joseph,
Yeah.
please.
Christine, you have to know this guy. Do you know who he is?
Who is it?
John Huan's father.
Taipei Mayor's father.
Oh, yes. We need to talk to the mayor and have him support him. Yeah.
Didn't film that.
对，那个时候他是侨委会侨委员长。
张委员长。
Okay, thank you.
First of all, let me introduce Director 于超平。哎，坐着。He's our campus officer. 你是在建坛的搬到建坛由第一次去的，对不对 ？So he's actually the deputy director for 建坛, a study tour to be held in 建坛 first time.
The first
It's
generation.
1974, I think, 73 or 74.
就是你要不要站过来一点，不然你就会被
那
你要不要站过来一点？要不然会那个。
And before that, actually, the study tour were held in Furen University, and 建坛 built after that. So they specially built 建坛. So today, everybody, alumni from the local feel 建坛 is their home base. But actually, 建坛 is built specially for the overseas Chinese youth activity center. Their title is different from other youth activity center in Taiwan, managed by CYC. This camp is only built for the overseas Chinese youth to use. And the beginning is because the overseas Chinese language training and study tour. We call it study tour. 我今天后面呢，我讲中文。
好。
我讲中文的原因是在于我不想因为我其实有一个很长的稿，一个东西，重点不是在我要讲多少东西，重点是我想问一下，第一件事情是问一下 Christina， 你当跟 Rainbow Benny 这个Rainbow Benny Jason 你们几位？
我们有4位，
对
其他都回去美国了。
对，我知道，但是前面还有很多搭来的人。
对。
我们之所以这一次你们来办的时候，我们这群人很多你大概除外，我们是第一次知道或者参加。我们为什么会来？你有没有想过这个问题
Can I guess?
No, you don't have to guess. Just say.
In my opinion, I feel like you guys care. You're the ones who ran the program.
Everybody who ever had a chance to join the study tour, no matter as a counselor or the student, will they forget about that period of that moment? Never. They will never. But being in so many years.
The light is on your head, so I'm just going to have you. There you go.
It's okay.
Okay, you're good.
Been so many years, nobody really knocking our door. Nobody really trying to. Even we seeing each other so
many times.
So frequently, and many of us we are very good friends in every field. The starting point is a study tour, and even like IAS International Affairs Seminar. This is very important part for the study tour, because before 1980, I think it's 1990, all the counselor actually is from the study tour. The study tour, the International Affairs Seminar, they train the trainer, they train the counselor to work in the study tour. This is why we know each other. So we know each other before we join the study tour, and we build our long-term relationship. Some of us married to each other, just like you.
Let me say something here. Okay, so one thing.
Yeah.
Let me just say this.
You see, this is what I'm trying to stop you.
No, I need to say this. I just want to say this important thing, because all this time we have been talking about impact studies on how the alumni were impacted, but as I'm telling John, the local counselors were equally impacted. They developed relationships. John and I had a meeting the other day, and we were joking, we were laughing, because when we were also young, you guys were young too, we were just introduced to the Chinese culture, and you all were being introduced to the Western culture. And 30, 40 years later, many of us can speak Chinese now, and many of you become very international. So we become localized, and you guys became international, and we can meet even really now today is when we can come together and really build something together. So what I'm saying is, the impact studies includes the local counselor's experience.
Hold on. Christian, the reason I want to stop you I want to stop you is, I'm trying to address, and I say I want to address it in Chinese. All these people coming into here, only one reason. We had people, a figure like you. You are so passionate about what you are doing. No matter what's the reason, maybe you see the Israel group, maybe you fall in love with the love ball, you find your best time in your life, or the part of that experience really make you have so much passion. So when they pass out their passion, we want to see what happened. Why we almost lost it. And there's a guy. And you keep on talking about you are looking for the resource and OCAC or CYC. You're thinking you need their help. Let me ask you a question. The World Cup is very good, right? Very good example. People just showing one picture. The picture is Messi. Took the best for what the Spanish
football player.
Spanish the best
英格，英国队那个干了一下，全队去。
不是，他帮一个小孩洗澡，那个小孩子现在是
英国队打
没有西班牙。
对，现在在英国队的，他帮他洗澡。
对。
对。
So, and that picture shows up. You know how many people get into it and look at that information just in one day, 24 hours, 64 million people. And they start to get to know. They want to watch the Spanish and Argentina team sports.
Actually,
you know, the people like us, people call us old timer.
Yeah, we're the old timers.
Why they call us old timer? Because only when you live longer enough, like Director you and me, right? When we live longer enough, the only few moments in our life is memorable. The other time, just passing, right? So we keep on talking about that few things. You are very young. You keep on talking about love ball. So that means that timing, right? That time, that period of time is so important in your life.
Very.
It's also on us. When we are meeting each other, we're talking about where John climbed the wall to Grand Hotel. The night I called him, took the members to go to the nightclub, which I will not allow them to do.
John, shame on you.
And director, giving like a 2 hours lesson, trying to bring him back to the good behavior. Okay? You see, now we're talking about this. Why? 60 years past, this is the only thing you can talk? No, that moment is very important for us.
So much fun.
So I think, in your passion, you don't need anybody in here. We come here not because you look for us. Have you ever looked for me? Have you ever looked for these people? No. We all heard about you are trying to do something. We hope you can make it, so we come. And that because why? Because that timing, that time is very important for us. Even we already, been 50 years past. For me, I joined the study tour as a counselor in 1971. So that's more than 50 years ago. But I think the timing is so important and it's amazing. Your trip this time, come over here. Let me give you 2 examples. First example.
Is this being recorded? Can you zero in on?
No matter next reunion, or you want to reassure the study tour, or you want to do something for Save Jiantan, all those things will be happening. Earliest next year, right?
Correct.
2026 already passed, almost passed. So if you set up your goal as 2027 by June, let's say that, okay, it's about 1 year later, you need that much time.
Of course.
You know, by next year, June, it's a 60 years anniversary
That's right.
for first funding study tour.
That's right.
1967 until now, 60.
60 years.
You know, 60 years anniversary is so important in every event, in every organization, in every country, especially Chinese. You know why? Chinese think it's a whole life cycle. In the old time, Chinese can live only 60 years old, right? So when you are passing one circle, 一甲子, that's so important. So don't forget, okay? By next year, the most important years for Christina Hui, for the organization, for the Loveful members, for all the alumni. Next year is a memorable year. That year is a 60 years anniversary. If you make this objective very clear, first one, you want to organize all the alumni, right? You need a yearbook, you want looking for them. Two very successful social media. One is Facebook, right? Facebook, when Zuckerberg just started his party animal kind of survey things, right? Just like what you are trying to do. Trying to find the party members, right girl, right man, same kind of people showing in the party. This is why I call Facebook. In the first 6 months, he recruited 61 million users. With what? No advertisement, nothing. Just people was amazed by very easy, simple connection. They connect to each other. Another thing is, most people maybe don't know. You know who is the one who wrote the first email software? First person write an email was invented. Email software. His name called 金刚里，台大电机系 electronic engineering department, same year as me. He's a genius. The reason he set up this email system, you know, for what? For trying to set up the alumni communication. In the past time, you need to write letters, right? And that time, the internet not yet so popular. But he just created software. You can throw a letter, and the software just came out, so they can easily throw an envelope into there, so they can pass it by each other very fast. And the guy doesn't know the value, so his first move actually just trying to do this so-called alumni communication book, 就是校友会的通讯录。And then Soho come to him and say, wow, this is dynamite. So they paid him $200,000 US. That's his first bucket of the gold. But after that, he didn't create anything new. But he's a genius when he was in the school. He's the one first thinking about email can be the future communication tool. Now, you are even easier, right? If you can set up a podcast, and then you just show the name, say Loveful, and give it very simple. You don't need very complicated things. It's just pretty very simple, you know. For those who will ever participate, half of these, I think, our members, okay, alumni, is among 60 years, right? They are at least divided into 3 groups. One group is age 60 to 80. The second group is 40 to 60. The third group much younger because we cut out in the middle, so there's a no. But this whole is like a cross 3 generations. My age can be. If next year we're going to have a new study tour, no matter it's only one-time thing, or it's become reassumed, this program The people who are coming will be my granddaughter, grandsons level. So I call them the third generation, not yet happened. Okay? But at least this first and second generation is pretty much related. It's just like family. It's like a heritage. It's like our legacy.
Yes.
So as long as you can keep your passion, you don't have to convince us. You don't have to ask us who can help us. If just focus on your three objectives. First objective is the reunion. My suggestion, maybe I will say, not just a suggestion, I said, just do it. You're trying to set up a reunion next June. One event in US, because that's a bigger school. Either in San Francisco or in Los Angeles, okay? Maybe you can choose New York, I don't know. However, and one group is in Taiwan, using same period of time. And then you said, we want to recruit 60 years long-term relationship or 60 years love or romance reunion. And then you go through all the social media. I believe, if you can recruit maybe 500, maybe 1,000 US, no matter those Taiwanese married to US, or the counselor who are living there, or the student, right, Alumni, from there. And also in the same time, same period of time, you're holding a reunion in Taipei. It's for the people who want to come back to Taiwan to celebrate. Or like us, we're not going to US, but we definitely will join this one, right? For us, we meet each other sometimes. So why not just pick another few days? So we have a big celebration to remember his 50 years ago, my 60 years ago, somebody's 30 years ago, somebody's 20 years ago. So we can easily recruit another 500 to 600. As long as this message passing out, just like your reunion this time. You didn't contact any of us, but why we come? I come back from Bangkok day before yesterday. Be honest, I come back for you because that day you said, Joseph, you have to come. I said, yeah, maybe I should come. So I decided to come back. I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
Actually, Joseph, I thought you lived in Taiwan when I told you you had
No,
to go. I didn't know you didn't live here.
I don't live here at all. Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
So I would say, you reunion part, and then you go to CYC and also OCAC. Remember, 60 years ago, this is just like a brother and sister, these two organizations, and even 外交部 or Ministry of Foreign Affairs, even the National Security Council or the military or police station or Taipei city government. They are all brothers because it's under one, right? Very unified, or you can say dictatorship, whatever. They are no problem with each other. Today, OCAC and CYC is totally two different camps. They're fighting against each other.
Yeah.
There are so many organizations, there are so many parties, so many diversity between these kind of organizations.
Pretty
so,
too.
But if you say, I want to hold 60 years ago, one great thing, you guys made it happen, and now we're trying to say thank you. And you send that letter to Chao Wei. Say, put it on your bulletin board. I don't need your yearbook. I don't need. Just Chao Wei sending out saying, you support this group. You don't have to put any money. Our reunion, we pay for ourselves. All you have to do is accept this achievement. We set up this for 60 years, just like you said. You're doing 49 years work, building up this network for Republic of China or for Taiwan, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
And in the end, you want to give up the credit? No, you want to collect it.
That's right.
So you go to them not say, hey, help us to hold out this union. No, come to accept our recognition. To tell people you found this group. Let's see how influential they are. That you're putting on specific go to certain people. Those people are well known in US, well known in Taiwan, and people know their achievement. They know their credential. Or they say, oh, they are part of this. Oh yeah, he's my counselor that year. They will automatically to contact you. All you have to do, you don't have to say anything. Study there, keep your broadcast, once a week, you find people who join you. Say, hey, he just contact us. He will join the Los Angeles session. Oh, 你的英文叫什么 ？Stanley 啊 ，Stanley is joining Taiwan because of him. Maybe 10, young girls in this younger time, they like him very much. They never had a chance to see him again. They all come. I'll tell you the truth.
There's 10 young women, all right?
So you don't. I see you don't need to worry about this because not just you. We're trying to look for the yearbook from the International Affairs Seminar. I talked to the Director General. She said, no, we cannot give it to you. You know why? Because in Taiwan, the directory is kind of like a very confidential.
Privacy.
Many people doesn't want people to know he's in that group.
Oh.
No. And if I put the address on, something happened, I'm responsible.
Yeah.
So nobody will disclose that except they have court order, they have the government's order said, no, you can give. They can only give you the name. They will not give you the contact, they will not give you the email address. And many of us never give our email address to the study tour. So they don't have our email address.
There was no email. There was no email.
And even us, we've seen us so frequently. We don't have email address. We don't need to because so many social media. Then one can pass to another. We're now all connected because now this is very easy. So all you have to do, you have a certain goal, certain day, saying that for the reunion part. We are going to celebrate this 6 years romantic trip we have in Taipei. Come, Lapo members, alumni. I will guarantee you, you are easily recruit people in States, people in here. And then the reunion part can be like if you decide to use Los Angeles as a base. You can hire the Caribbean cruise, right? The 3 day, 4 days, easiest one. Everybody pay 500, if early bird, can 500, 600. 台湾第一女中的同学会，每年都是在洛杉矶开，都是坐游轮。You can call that boat, that boat, right? They get all alumni. The same time, like I think the best timing will be the end of end of June, because July started from the summer vacation, so most of the trip, whatever organization, hotel, everything will be very expensive. But you will not only holding like one meeting or one dinner for reunion. A small group is okay. When big group, people spending time. I travel from New York to Los Angeles, and I only go there for dinner. That's too much. But if say, hey, I will have 3 days, so I get my husband, get my children, because they also in the study tour. So we have a family trip. Let's go to Los Angeles to board the Love Boat. Then we have this on-air connection. In Taiwan, we can book a 立新，对不对？立新游轮去石环岛。To Japan, 3 day, 4 day, besides the gambling, the rest of the time, we can on air say 1971, Counselor tonight is your night, and John Mel can sing. He sing. He's a famous DJ, a famous video music station
he was a
host.
DJ.
Yeah.
What?
Well, he has his fan. He was very famous.
You're a DJ?
Yeah, DJ.
So you can DJ our reunions?
You see, this is something once you announce, we can get several hundred, even 1,000 Taiwan, 500, and the people from the United States, if they come to Taiwan, they'll connect to your second objective. Let's reassume the study tour. At least you say 3 years, I will say 1 year. Why? Because you want to keep this 60 years heritage, right? 60 years anniversary legacy. You cannot just like Macy say, this is your last World Cup, then the story stops, right? So we will say, let's try to hold another one. No matter how difficult, maybe we have only 250 students, because that's the first year. They probably get only 200, maybe 250. So let's say, we generate this 60 years range, kind of Love Bowl members, their children, their grandchildren, get 250 people. Will you have problem? You won't have problem. So then go to tell OCAC, go to tell CYC, maybe next year, 健谈拿一些 tell down. Hopefully you will not.
You will not.
And pretty much sure you will not. You know why? Because
How do you know that?
so much fighting,
Yeah.
and the next city mayors who,
It's not going to.
if the Jiang Wan is still here, he must want to keep it the way. You change another mayor, definitely there's no 健谈. Even it's not 救国团 running, they want to tear it down. Why? This is a symbol of a generation,
Joseph,
a regime.
can I say a few things right now?
Oh, sure. Hold on. Let me just finish this.
Okay, just let me know when I
So
talk.
when you go to OCAC, you go to CYC, you don't ask them, you don't look for their helpness. You just go there and say, we're going to have reunion to celebrate your great achievement. You set up this organization 60 years ago, and we want to open up another one to connect this 60 years. Would you like to give up? Next question then, how much money you need?
Exactly.
Yeah, they will be.
That's what happened. That is.
In the past time, you need to give people, subsidize their transportation, half price of the ticket price to come back, and some tuition fee, free, whatever. Today you don't need. People want to come by themselves. They can pay themselves. All you need, maybe just a little bit funding for the beginning. I think that will be a very small fund and very easy to raise. By only looking at these people here, I will tell you, this is not a big money. Okay, start from saying that we want to have the reunion and we want to keep this 60-year kind of heritage. So next year you have to hold one time, right? At least to complete this 60-year cycle. And we're still holding in 健谈. They already achieved 2/3 of your objective, of your goal. And because these 250 people to come, so their parents come along with them. So the Taiwan group, right, the reunion, can equally big as US. But I will assume US one must be even bigger, right? Because some 60 years, 70 years old.
Well, I would like to speak to that.
Yeah, they probably will not come to here, but they were in there. So this will become a very big news.
Yeah.
TV station, you don't need to go to them. They will come to you. No matter they are the green TV station, or they are blue TV station, or they are pro-Chinese TV station, the pro-Chinese, pro-US, pro-Japan, they're all report this because this is part of Taiwan miracle. Don't forget. Let me give you one example. 1971, that's the first year. I was the counselor for the study tour. Who is also the counselor in that year? Sitting right next to me. That day I showed them the picture. It's a gentleman called Rick Chai Lixin. Chai Lixin is a former CEO for TSMC, and then the Taiwan China Telecommunication Company chairman of the board. Now he's a MediaTek CEO. So AI semiconductor is the #1 in Taiwan. Zhang Zhongmo is the owner, is the founder, but technically he's the #1 people in Taiwan semiconductor industry. He is a counselor 1971.
Wow.
And 他太太孟佩璇是参加国研的时候认识的。然后他们然后这样子就太太常常到美家来看他，然后两个人最后结婚。哇哦 If I go to him, I say, you just speak. You don't ask for anything. Don't ask him to donate money. His name show you'll get a lot of donations.
Okay.
And then he will say, wow, this is a wonderful time. This is my first time meet so many ABC. My English start getting better from there. Many of us, that's the truth. So this is the founding truth of the Love Boat. That's the day I mentioned to you. We feel valued. It's not because you want us to come or you beg us to come. No. We want to come because we gain the same thing, even as a local council. That's our first eye-opener. That's our first eye-opener activity. We never had a chance to contact with international youth. They are different nationality. Maybe they are same race. Today, people not even recognize this. But however, in that time, we still feel we are same race, we are Chinese. But however, they are totally different. They are all eye-opener. This is why so many of our counselors also fall in love with a student. In 1971, in my section, at least four lady counselors. Now I found out they married the student from the study tour. And now they live in the United States. 4 of them only in San Francisco. I find the address, find the email, and I ask them to join, no matter in the US or here. Maybe their children already participate in study tour.
Yes.
Maybe in your same year. You just don't know. So this is, once this reunion is scheduled, and you've been very concrete about what you are trying to do, which I think you already know, right? Just put down your objective. Then the other thing, you keep those addresses. Everybody's on Taylor Swift broadcast or Taylor Swift website. Can Taylor Swift reach them? Very easily, right? All he has to do is just say, my fan, come out. Everybody, oh, come in. You don't need a yearbook. You don't need too much things. You just carefully plan your own forecast. Carefully plan your website and get ready to have a larger capacity. Then you pass out the information and get a consensus from OCAC and China Youth Corps. I think it's easy because you don't go looking for help. You go in to say, this is a great opportunity for you. Even Zhou wants to celebrate something they have done. 6 years later, people come and say, thank you.
Yes.
Why he refused? If you are going there to talking to the CYC director today, you keep on talking about, I want to reopen the study tour. I go over there, say, hey, why not just reopen the International Affairs Seminar? I say, we can help you. She said, no, this is very complicated. Every different school have a different policy. Now we cannot recruit students from different universities because every university have their own policy about participate in this kind of something to do politically.
Oh gosh.
International affairs, this is political issue. Why you want somebody to train your student to go out as your diplomats? This is too complicated. But you just go to them and say, you don't have to do anything. We are coming back to thank you. So all you have to do is you pay your own $500 to join our love flow. So that night you can be the VIP because you are from CYC. You found the program.
That's right.
Or say, hey, that 500 somebody pay for you. Joseph Han pay for you already. Come. I think he will be very glad, and he wants to be the sponsor.
Yes.
Because that's really something they have done 60 years ago, right? So I think this one you settle, you're the chief, 2/3 of the whole program.
Yes.
As for the third one, save the Jiantan, keep a memorial, limestone, whatever, or somewhere that people will come back, go to their wall to take a look. That one's very easy. No matter what's the property future, once your alumni, your organization become very famous, you'll have 20,000, and then a lot of people, they are not a member, they want to look at this, right? And then in the US, there are so many different kind of groups. In the end, they feel this is something they all should do. Everybody will send their voice out.
Yes.
When the voice out, in between, when something really happens, I think the timing is very important. So I said, this time I have to come back. Because if you don't start to thinking about this, you are still thinking about how the Israel group, how to lobby. You know, their job is lobby. You are not lobbying anything. In Taiwan, you cannot do anything lobby now. Because Taiwan's political situation will keep on changing, especially in this year, next year, and 2 years after. In these 4 years, I will tell you, that new world for Taiwan is nothing we can think about today. So don't do anything trying to lobby any concept. No, we just do whatever we want to achieve. That objective, this most important period of time, is kind of our lifetime memory, a lifetime, legacy. And this is the heritage. Every one of us, every Taiwanese, all these ABC group or TBC group or Taiwanese American group, they all should remember this Taiwan miracle being exist. This Taiwan romance being exist before. And we want to keep this memory keep on going on. As for the future, who knows? So if you can really focus working on that, and you say 2 things you need. First thing, you need a lot of people's approval, help. Secondly, you need a little bit funding. If I think I explained clear enough, I don't think funding is a big issue, at least not in this moment, right? But now you need a certain level of funding. You need to keep out something. Look for one picture, for example, like you show that big picture, maybe direct, you can help us to identify. I see on that 1967 picture, must be 1 or 2 people actually is from Taiwan. It's from CYC or from the government. We don't know, because even 4 years ago, I was not there, so I don't know them. But maybe directly you know. So we can reach those people, right? And then you have a picture, just like when you show one counselor's picture in this time on your website.
Yeah.
He came for this reason, because all of a sudden he found out he's part of the group.
You're in that picture?
And John is also, right? And so we can just using one picture, and put it on your website. The people are passing to each other. And I was just showing one of my friend's daughter. He apparently met me last time when I joined, after I joined the reunion. I told her, I said, I joined Love. And I even explained, obviously Chinese use language study tool. I said, I joined the Love event. So she said, she jumped up. She said, when are you going to have it again? She said, my husband is a Love alumni. 1990. So she said, we always want our children to join. Then found out the program is stopped. So she took both of the children coming over for one hosted in Zhongyuan Daxue, another one is hosted by a press school in Tianmu, all study tour. They are coming back looking for lot goal. Just lot goal not there. And she said, oh, so you decided to reassume the study tour? I don't know. It's Christina's doing this. I said, probably yes, because she has a lot of passion. You know what she said? My son is only like her son is 16 years old, and the elder one is freshman, 18. So she said, if you assume next year, I will send them over to join in. So they are too shy. If they can join all Taiwanese participants group, they will be very happy. See, so this is your power, and this is your passion, and this should belong to you. I had to stop you few times because you are so passionate about it. You want to make sure that everybody understands you every point. I understand that, but you don't need too many points. They will distract, the people in the end. Look at your passion. So my suggestion, or I say, I will suggest you to make this as a kick-off. Then schedule your time for the reunion in US and here. Then plan with your group fellows. And then you make a plan. Then send it out to people who care, who are concerned. Like John, well, he doesn't have to come. He's just a member, right? He doesn't feel he's a part of this program yet. But however, he traces on every piece of information about you and sends it to all of us. This is why. Because the passion's there.
John?
The passion, yeah, John.
Sends out information about us?
Yeah. She looked for GDP, DeepSeek, every website, and your website is keep on sending to us. This is why. Passion is something very influential. I haven't met Julie for years. Today she also come. Why? Because in one chat group, he found out he sent out information. She gave a lot of opinion on what you should do. But I have to stop her because whatever you should do, after 2 weeks study on it, I think it's very simple. There are several nights I have a little bit sleepless. I said, why should I do that? This is really nothing to do with me. But I think that passion should pass on. That part of time is the most important part of our lifetime too. If I didn't get a chance to join that international affairs seminar, I didn't get a chance to join study tour or meeting this group of people, all this group of people. Even somebody later became the president of Taiwan, right? Ma Ying-jeou. Biggest banker, Hu Dingwu. Minister, many of the ministers, many of the very influential people, right? And they change our life. And we know them, we also change our life. Our vision changed. I think among your group, many people also, right? They probably never had the chance to marry Taiwanese. Once they marry a Taiwanese, they have very special feeling about Taiwan. It's different from any other ABC, right? That's something you cannot deny. So let's say it. Let's speak out. Let the people who have the same feeling to speak out. Then that passion will pass on. So I hope I didn't talk too much, But whatever I want to talk is want you to keep that passion, and you are the key factor, and focus on that key factor. Don't distract yourself on, I don't think we have just a little bit similar situation with the Israel group. I know Jeffrey Sachs, I know many professors, US famous professors, they are Jew. They don't even agree with whatever Israel is doing. Okay? They are the one who criticize on the Jew, this lobbying group. So their situation and Taiwan's situation is more simple, but also more complicated. Because direction is totally different. So we don't need to copy anybody. We don't need to ask him for anybody. Just bring back that passion. Bring back that. And you have, like Jason, this kind of people, specialists, how to, introduce you in the social media. This is some word I'm very now very aware of, but I know the power. I have WeChat. My WeChat group is like 4,500 friends. Some of them I don't even remember them, but they keep on sending information to me. We feel like a family. It's only because one time, in one place, we meet and we feel, we are family. So I think this is I want to encourage you, but I also want to remind you. Let's focus on, and this is a good timing. This is a great opportunity. Next year, 2027, is the 60 years founding anniversary for the study tour, for the Love Boat. So this 60-year romantic story should going on. So next year, holding another one to make the cycle complete in your social impact is very big. Afterward, I think many people will come and say, let's do something. So your second and third one, you don't have to worry about. Maybe you are holding another 100 times, I don't know. But however, next year, the reunion is important. So if you can focus on that, you have 1 year to prepare. You schedule your time, and don't waste too much time on coming back and forth or trying to set up an organization in Taiwan or recruit people to doing that. No, just focus on how you can easily hire travel agents to do the US reunion, right? You can easily hire a travel agency to do the reunion here. Just find few old counselors to be the organizer, right? It's like to tell them how to do. And alignment, have the alignment with you, and set up the objective, subjective, and the agenda together. That's all. And I think, like John, he will be voluntary. I don't think he will charge you too much. Usually he will charge a lot, right? This banker, this guy, charging people a lot.
Oh no, we used to work together so much. He's going to be free. He's not going to charge.
Investment banker, they don't do anything for nothing, right? But however, he will do something for study tour.
我用中文啊，已经5点钟了。我想Christine跟那个韩工都做得很好的，就这整个 level 的 two sides 做很好的陈述跟。那我觉得我们可以 conclude 的一个东西，在我summarize 如果我有错的话，就是帮我纠正。但是我今天才看到一句话说，张忠谋说。在接受访问，退休以后接受访问说，他愿意用他所有的财富来换他20岁的时候。那不管我们在台湾 counselor join 这个，偶尔从这个 level 回来的，都是20岁前后的。所以20岁前后是所有人一辈子的记忆财富。那我们很 lucky，是因为我们在这边遇到了一群 我们觉得跟我们联盟长一样，可以用不同的语言一起想跟我们了解一样文化背景，我们重新了解要怎么去诠释。那同样的，我觉得对于像Christine你们这样的，你们是回到了台湾，在20岁的时候，去了解说你爸爸妈妈为什么在美国一定要叫你去上中文学校。那来到台湾的时候，你会看到很多跟你连我一样，可能想法不一样，可是可能有一些会勾动你感情的事情。那简单来说，我完全同意韩公讲的，我们就先 focus。明年是60周年，这60周年是一个很好，让大家一起来 join， 而且它要有 marketing 很好的这个时间，就在明年7月。如果明年7月办得成功，下一步就可以有足够的资源去做它的 impact。所以我们的第2个 step 就是这个完了以后，我们再去宣布我们要做这个 impact。那我们可以用很多的方式。当然，我觉得不一定要靠政府，可是有时候政府的 engagement 是一个很好，OK。所以我觉得明年有一个很重要，既然叫 logo， 不管蔡立行也好，或者我们认识我们这一期的时候，徐永胜，他先生也是在我们那一期的一个医生啊，好像是那时候我已经忘了。啊？对，徐永胜在我们那一期，他是我们的 counselor， 然后他在那边认识他的先生 John， 后来他就到美国。所以我们如果可能在明年，我不能找到多少人，可 make sure 至少找到10对、20对，因为这个活动，然后一辈子牵手在一起的，我觉得那个会是一个很重要的 element， 因为我们都会认识，所以我想我们就可以来做这件事情。刚刚韩公也做了一个很好的这个建议，就是说我们的 counselor， 我们这边做一个 organizing committee 一样的，有几位，我想那个 John， 对，我们都可以来做呀。那我可以讲说，我大概是国研里面唯一我知道的唯一大部分就是说，参加了美加，后来又到了外交部，或到现在我一直在做这个文化交流的工作。Frustrate， 我在 Eisenhower Fellowship Foundation 工作。那我在2014帮外交部 organize 了一个美加来的一个，那时候是3个礼拜，现在变成2个礼拜了。我叫某扎in台湾，就是这个 program 我也去比赛，所以我这边会有很多，我现在还在持续我的工作，是做很多这种青年交流的。所以如果未来你要做 study tour， or even organize 明年的要做上什么，我这边应该都可以做一些帮助。那当然，我们外加就是我们的 Dennis、陈亮或者周东汉，他们在企业界工作经历都很丰富，都知道怎么去 organize 一件事情。那even我觉得我们如果 organize 好，我们明年请到这个蒋万安来去支持这件事情，都不是太难的事情，因为他是我外交系的学弟，就我应该还是有跟他有对话的管道，所以我们觉得 focus 这样，就明年60周年，然后7月的时候在台湾，然后可能西岸，美国西岸东岸，因为东岸有一个纽约的朋友，我们一起来做这样的活动，欢迎也都会来。那我们就朝这样的方向做，明年做得好，它自然会延伸下去。那在我们去筹备明年的期间，如果我们能够找到Christine跟小刘，为什么我们明年有一个小的 study tour， 一个 demo 的一个，我觉得那就是一个很好的 celebration。好，这是我个人的建议，谢谢。
Thank you。
国际事务研习会后来停办了以后，中间我问上次很多的辅导员，他们都做辅导员是在90年代做辅导员，对，他们是从另外一个团体来的，叫做经贸什么会，
对，
还有台湾有一个组织 ，US 是一个国际性的组织，叫做 ISEX， 就国际学生商学会。 这个也是他们也是一个很好的机构啊，你跟他联系，你也有提到说可以交换学生，将来做 internship， 他们是专门做这个，所以他们也是到了暑假的时候都在找这种 voluntary work， 要写在他的那个履历上，以后都可以到外面去申请工作，然后也可以申请在美国的交换实习。所以我们只要能够找到这样的话，只要20-30个人，这个辅导员的这个 group 就出来了。如果明年预计它的规模跟1967年的时候的规模一样大的话，我认为一点问题都没有。台湾现在随便的一个小的 study tour， 什么旧金山来的，我刚刚讲的那个朋友，我问他说他们有多少人，他说他们就有200多人，借了中原大学2栋宿舍楼就办起来了。然后我说你们去看什么？去参观什么？我说你们有没有什么环岛旅行？他说没有，我们早上2点半去看台北的那个鱼市场开门，看南门市场开门，去访问街友。他说现在要让台湾在美国的小孩子觉得你们在美国好幸福哦，你看台湾的这边还有这么多的街友。我说啊，拿这个给人家看。可是他这样也办出来一个 study tour， 他们也交很多的钱。所以我认为说，如果我们把目标定得很清楚，这个东西就是一个私人办，然后名义你给了救国团，因为救国团有这个组织的能力，对他们办青年活动很自然。
他们已经没有组织能力了。
他们没有组织能力，就我们自己来嘛，很简单嘛。这是你们自己，对不对？只要有1-2个人曾经过去做过的，很多的工作是委托外面去办。但是就千万不要太分散，不要想太多东西。说我们要成立一个比较大的 organization， 以后具有很多影响力。现在不要想，你影响力自然会来，但现在不要想。
Yes. Okay. So 我还是要用英文说。We'll get to that. Let me just respond to this. Okay. First of all, Joseph, we have been looking for you guys for a while now. Because there's no directory, there's no organization of counselors. I could not find you guys. I kept asking people, who knows any local counselor? Just introduce me to one. And then I found Veronica's Facebook group, Love Boat Counselors group. That's how 我们慢慢的就开始了解你们到底是谁。And then I had one counselor's meeting a couple of months ago. I just sent out information. Any counselors can come to this meeting. I would like to talk to you because, again, as I said earlier, we know that it's the counselors that have every institutional knowledge is in their heads. We don't have any documentation. How was this program organized? What did you guys do? How did you do it? It's all in the counselors' minds. And I feel it's important for us to document this as part of the impact studies. All of this is going to come out. So anyway, let me just say, so Joseph, I was looking hard for you guys. Again, I couldn't understand, wait, why is the Director General of Atlanta, why was he a former counselor? How come Charlie Waite's director, he was also on the, wait a minute, I had to put the puzzle together. And then I realized, we have to talk to the local counselors immediately. I dropped everything else I was doing. It's like, you know what, none of that's important, we have to talk to local counselors. So we started with one meeting, only about, I think it was 3 or 4 OCs showed up. Okay, that's a start. We had a good meeting. Then, we had this Genpan reunion. That was not a planned reunion. That was last minute because we heard about the 2 proposals that were submitted to the Taipei City government about the future of Genpan, and it was tied. There was a tie between these 2 proposals. Then I was like, we gotta go to Taiwan. I have something to say about this. And so that's why we had that Genpan reunion 2 weeks ago. That was not, our big reunion is in Pasadena in September. September 26th and 27th, it's a 2-day affair. That's the annual reunion. So the Genpan reunion was totally an accident. It's because all we were trying to do, our #1 goal this time in Taiwan was to meet with the local counselors. 我就跟侨委会 I have now, in California. She's the deputy director in San Francisco. I called her. I said, 我们这次我们有很多人要回去台湾，侨委会有没有一个什么 meeting room 可以用 ？I just want to talk. If I can talk to 3 local counselors, I would be happy. I don't know who these people are. 他说 Christine, 侨委会我们的目的就是 we have overseas facilities. We have lots of facilities for the community to use. 但是在台湾我们是 headquarters. 我们5点钟下班 we don't even have an office for you to use. 那我说那当然 we can rent a place like this, right? Or we can go to the library. In America we can borrow the library meeting rooms. 那我们两个在讲说 we were talking. I said, well, why don't we have a meeting room at Jinhan? They must have space for a meeting. 所以他说，我说你先帮我打电话过去，我国语太烂了，所以戴欣帮我打电话给建南，他就马上跟我说 ，Yes, they have meeting rooms. You can borrow, you can rent a meeting room. They have a lot. 他给我那个 meeting room 的表。That's how it all started. That reunion was not supposed to be a reunion. It was supposed to be me trying to talk to you guys. Said Joseph, I was looking for you, desperately looking for the local counselors. Like I said, if we just met with 3, we'd be happy. It's a start. You have to start from somewhere. That's why I was telling everybody, this Jinhan reunion, the reunion doesn't matter. We can have reunions for the rest of our lives. What matters is we need a meeting to talk about Jinhan and need to find the local counselors. That 1-hour meeting was the most important point of that Jinhan activity. So when you guys showed up, I was stunned. I was stunned. 你说你好几个晚上都睡不着。But after that, after you took the microphone and you took over that meeting, I couldn't sleep for days. Before that, I couldn't sleep because we were trying to plan this crazy reunion last minute. After you spoke, I couldn't sleep because I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I could not have imagined that any senior local counselor would come. Not to mention the whole front row in that amphitheater was local counselors. There's so many of you that you're now in the second row, you know? And so, again, I just can't thank you. And first, I have to thank you so much for caring and for showing up. What I say to people is, some people say, well, we don't know how to help you. Just show up. If you just show up, we can come up with great ideas. We can solve the problem. These problems are not impossible to solve. And this is the most intelligent, most highly educated, most capable group I have ever been a part of. I have been a part of many different communities. This is not my first organization that I've been a head of. But I will tell you, all the people I meet, from the young people to the seniors, from the alumni to the counselors, from the OCs to the LCs, this group of people is, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just extraordinary. It's an extraordinary group. And like you said, the 1976, 2 years ago, 1976 reunion, they invited me to their reunion. Now, again, the woman in that poster, her sister, she's the one who organized 1976. I thought I was just going to another reunion, no big deal. I'll tell you, when I showed up, I felt like everybody was my jie. Everybody was my ge-ge. You know, they treated me like their mei-mei. It was not, I have done, through another organization, I've been responsible for more than 1,000 face-to-face networking events in cities around the world. I understand networking events. Going to these local alumni reunions is nothing like that. It is like a family. The networking groups, people are there to exchange business cards and find that next job, find that next business opportunity. When you go to a local reunion, it doesn't matter if it's I met Rainbow in Honolulu. We had a little reunion with about 8 of us alumni who got together. Same feeling as when I went to the one in the Bay Area for the 1976 group. Because they're like 20 years older than I am. I went to 91, so they're all 20 years older. It's a feeling of family. It's a feeling of we all went through the same experience with the local program. It's not just a local program. It's our family backgrounds. It's how we ended up in America. It's how we ended up being reconnected with Taiwan because of the local program. Our relatives in Taiwan, our new friends in Taiwan. It is so much more than just a 6-week summer camp. So anyway, you can see my passion. Whenever my hands start to fly all over the place, you But I also want to say, Joseph, you have that passion too. All of us do. That's why we're here. But Joseph, you are the passion person here. So I just want to thank you for showing up at the reunion 2 weeks ago. I want to thank you for taking over that microphone. I'm telling you, I was like, I could not have asked for a more powerful, riveting meeting than we had. I have so many people took videos of your speech. And I'm trying to organize it and create a webpage so that everybody can really feel what happened. But I just want to thank all of you for coming to this, and your suggestion is perfect. We will do that. But there's some tweaking. Okay, so, wow, it's really raining. I would not recommend both a Taiwan reunion and a U.S. reunion. I would recommend another reunion in Taiwan. Get everybody focused on this one. Promotion is a lot of work. Even with social media, you got to get everybody on that same page. So if you have 2 different events going on, you're going to split the energy, okay? And so for this 60th reunion, I strongly recommend we just do it at GenHan. But in the U.S., what we can do is get everybody excited and have small, networking, social events, build it up all the way into the reunion. I also recommend that we have it in mid-July or end of July, because us U.S. alumni with children, the scheduling is very complicated during the summer. Taiwan summer camps don't start until July 1st. That's something I learned the hard way, because I want my child to be in a Chinese camp. Unfortunately, we came back a couple years ago. We came back in the end of June, and all the camps were English speaking, because the schools are not out yet. So I couldn't sign him up for a local camp. They don't start till July. So I'm going to recommend that we have it in July. Okay. Secondly, is I really strongly feel that you local counselors should take over this part. If you try to say, okay, you help and we help in the U.S. and we work together, it's going to slow things down. As much as I love to get involved with everything, we are so busy trying to just find more alumni. Right now, we have a lot of, we do want to set up as a nonprofit so that we can get funding. Right now, people are hesitant to give us funds because we're not nonprofit yet, so they can't get a tax write-off. In America, you want to donate to a nonprofit. But what I suggest is,
我们如果在这边做 organize 所有的 marketing， 所谓的 marketing 就是我们其实不是说谁负责，是要分工。
Yes，
就是说对所有要去 marketing 的这个部分，就是你们来做。
Yes，
然后呢，你们要告诉我们大概什么时间，譬如July的什么时间几天
Yes，
，hopefully 会有什么样的 event 在这个 taking place， 我们就来比赛，然后会给我这个 program 出来以后，你们去做 marketing。
100% agree. I think that what our expertise, our ability is, we can reach the people, we can do the marketing, we'll do all the promotions. You guys just need to put the program together, and I can certainly give you ideas, but I tell you what, from our experience 2 weeks ago at GenHan, it was so easy. We just had a meet and greet for the first hour and a half. Everybody was just talking to each other. And then we had the meeting in the amphitheater. Whatever is important to talk about, you guys decide what the agenda to talk about. It's important we all get into a meeting. Every time we get together, we should have a meeting to talk about the future. What are we trying to do here? And then after the meeting, we got a custom tour of all the classrooms and the dining halls and the monastery and everything. At the end of the tour, we ended up in the exhibit. The Solomon Song has an exhibit there. If you just want to keep it simple next year and just follow that same routine, you can do it. It's really not about it's not about the program we suggest to you. It's about your manpower and your willingness. So if you want to keep it simple, you can just follow the same model that we just did. We did it from the States. It's easy. But if you want to make it a 2-day affair, if you want to include a boat road trip, a boat, on a boat, around the island, or Sunwin Lake, or, bus down south. I mean, it really is not about what we would like to see, it's about your manpower. How much can you guys get organized? What are you able to do? And that's why I feel like, just in my experience with community groups in the past, I really feel strongly that we should have regular meetings about it, but the decision-making and the planning should be 95% all of you guys. Otherwise, our side will hold you up. I'm telling you, these meetings, they're going to ask questions, they're going to say, do that. It doesn't matter. The fact that we're all together, if you just get us all together in one room for 3 hours, people will be thrilled. They're going to meet, we just need name tags. We need to know the name, the year, the Chinese name, that's good enough. So whatever you can do to make it a 60th year anniversary blast, I say go for it. But I strongly recommend that the team be local in Taiwan. Let us in America and outside of Taiwan, we can do the promotions. We have that ability to do that. So we can start, we can set up once a month, because we still have a whole year. And I'm telling you, if you just copy our model this year, you don't have to do anything. Just rent the space. The coffee shop, they just said pay everybody buy a drink. That's all they asked for. And then we paid for the rental of the amphitheater. I think it was like $200 US. That's it. They gave us a tour. They were happy to give us a tour. They are trying to promote GenHat. We can get everybody to stay at GenHat. People would love to stay at GenHat. And if we're giving them a 1-year notice, I'm telling you, hundreds of people will show up. Hundreds. Probably a lot more than that. Really. So I just want to encourage you here in Taiwan to form a committee, and you guys take on the ownership. I'm not a control freak. I don't need to be. I understand my limitations. I understand my strengths, and the people that are helping us. We can do promotions. We're going to be great at promotions. The minute you tell us the date, we can start promoting right away. We can design a special website dedicated to the 60th anniversary. Like you said, we can have Chinese, English. Actually, we would rely on you all to help us with the Chinese translations. AI can help us to a point, but we always need someone to look at it and say, does this sound okay, right? That's another area where local counselors can really help us, because right now I'm relying on my mom and my uncle and other people's parents to help us with the translation. If that's something you guys have to strengthen, so that's another area where you can help. But literally, the minute you give us the date, we can start promoting immediately. And then we at LBAI will start doing our own local events to get everybody excited. So we're going to be in 13. Ultimately, we're setting up LBAI ambassador teams in all 13 cities where OCAC has an office. Because in my previous organization, we set up 19 locations. It just got bigger and bigger for no purpose. This time we're more intentional. If there's an OCAC office, that means they've already done the research, that there's enough of the Taiwanese and Chinese population for them to justify having an office. So we're just going to go to where they are. At the very least, we always invite them to speak at our events. Right now, that's all. But we have to start somewhere, because it's been 13 years since there's any communication between alumni and Chow Wei. Like you said, I don't want to go too deep into Chow Wei, but it does not hurt us. It benefits us to have a good relationship with them. It doesn't matter who's in power, who's not in power. They are the responsible entity that organize the local program. So that's all I want to say. I just hope that what would be helpful is if you guys are willing to form a committee, one person to contact would be helpful. Because there's so many of you local councils. Right now I'm asking John to help me communicate with the 51, senior council. And by the way, so really quickly, and then I'm going to end this, and then John, if you want to talk about your board back there, let's do that. But our Facebook group is called Love Boat Alumni Initiative. Yesterday, I set up another group called Love Boat Counselors Initiative. I just set it up because I don't want anybody else to take that. if you guys want to take over and create, because she also has, Veronica has, she's been running a counselor's Facebook group for many years now, and we did talk about this. You can use you have to talk to her about it. But if you wanted to have a sister organization on Facebook, and it's the Love Boat Counselors Initiative, I'm happy to pass that on to you. I registered it already. I can add however many of you to become owner of that group and just take it over. Okay? So I'm done. If anybody else has anything to say, Joseph, John, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I want to.
Okay, you can stop that, and then I'll take over.
Because I think it's important that we also do have some takeaway, do have some consensus as we walk away. I think Joseph already recommended, I think we can leverage 2027, which is the 60 years anniversary of our program. Okay, we can actually plan for a much bigger reunion, either in Taiwan or in the US, and we can figure that out. But of course, in Taiwan would be very important because it has some profound impact that we can change the course of this program. And number two, I think we all agree we can leverage the existing social media. I think it's the Facebook could be one media. I know you have many more. And we just leverage the existing one. We don't create something new to really promote the reunions, to connect with the alumni, with the old counselors naturally. Okay, we don't create anything new. And then I think we can contact OCAC or China Youth Corps to simply invite them to receive their, the recognition for their own. We don't really ask them for funding or anything extra. And I think just engage them first. That would be a very wise. I think that would be a very wise strategy. And then I think, according to Joseph, I think some of us do know some old counselors. They may be in the tech world, in Taiwan, in certain industries. We can invite one or two more well-known people. If they can come to our program for the reunion, we will naturally attract the media attention and also, be more inviting for those who have heard the program. I think the last one is Christine talked about the future of Jiantan campus. Honestly speaking, nothing else we can do much. But I think we may have some influence. If we can conduct a better program next year and host it in Jiantan, maybe we can negotiate with the Taipei city government as they are rendering the BOT project bidding requirements. They may put this requirement to the next vendor or the group who wants to rebuild Jiantan in their next BOT project. I think the last would be, maybe we can redesign the program, but I think we all agree next year we probably don't need to do this. We can plan for the reunion first, and then to get some traction, and just try to do something simple. I think I just keep things simple. I think that's. Can we hear something otherwise?
Yes. That's a great idea.
Okay.
I think again, it's on manpower. If somebody says, let's do this extra thing, let's do a bus down south, let's go to Sun Lake. Encourage them. If somebody wants to take that on, I encourage.
Actually, Taiwan has a very interesting train program. 那个雄狮旅行社，他们有那个环岛的那个 train, or you can just take a train ride on the East Coast. But it depends on the weather. Usually the summertime is a little risky for typhoon, so there are certain weather factors we need to consider. I think there are just many opportunities. Taiwan is a very beautiful island, as you can see that. And then I think that would be today, right? And we're hoping the rain will stop before 6.
I have one more thing to talk about. Just for everybody's information, there are plans to make a movie and a documentary about what is happening. Now, I don't want to say too much more, but you have to know that, at least on the US side, we have a lot of alumni that are film producers, film directors, videographers, the whole LA group, basically. We have actors, we have actresses. There's already been a movie called Love in Taipei that hit the theaters. There's already been a documentary, which you probably know, by Valerie So, for Taiwan. There's no reason why we can't do another one. And the Bertrand Mao, the person I talked about earlier, who established the Love Boat program in 1967, it turns out that Lisa, her youngest daughter, who's also a very close friend of mine, she also came back to Taiwan after the Love Boat to study at Shida. She was part of that impact. You know, it impacted her so much. So anyway, over the years, she's become an award-winning film producer. And ironically, her most recent project is called The Three Chinatowns. I just learned this recently. The very first overseas OCAC office was in Chinatown, San Francisco. Think about it. That's where the Chinese community congregated, San Francisco, Chinatown. So OCAC's office in Chinatown today, San Francisco, is still active. The fact that Lisa just did a documentary on the it's called The Tale of Three Chinatowns. She used to work for Walt Disney. She used to work for all the big names, okay? I asked her, Lisa, if we're gonna do a documentary, do you wanna do it? She said yes, of course she's gonna do it. She's a Love Boat alum. I'm going to direct the movie. And if any of you are following me on Facebook, you have to know that I'm using Facebook to practice the communication, the wording, the story. I'm starting to tell the story now. Actually, I've been doing this for the past 6 months. So if my Facebook, I signed up for Facebook thousands of years ago. I hated it. I don't like it. I don't want to use it. It's a waste of time. I don't understand why people are sharing their food. But now that I know what's going on with LBAI, all the stuff that we're doing. So I remember I mentioned the 2024 reunion video. I learned from our videographer about the power of video. I'm a writer, so I communicate through writing. After I worked with her on that reunion video, I realized, wow, there's a bigger story. I can tell a bigger story through video. And so almost every single Facebook post I make has to do with a component of the future movie. Okay, I'm just sharing with you that this is happening because, like you said, this is something that none of us will ever forget. And we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with the elections. We don't know what's going to happen to Genhat. Honestly, this thing could go in any number of directions. Yes, Ben.
Yeah, can, as we wind down, maybe just ask if anybody else wants to speak. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Especially because we have like some.
Oh, yes, of course. Okay.
Too. I want to make sure.
Yeah, I did just ask if anybody else would, but yes. Anyway, I just want to let you all know that another reason why we want to do the movie and the documentary is because if the Genhat building is demolished, this movie and this documentary will forever have a place in film, in video, that we'll always have it to remember by. So it's really important that we do this documentary. Okay, who else would like to speak?
I'd love to.
I think we need a conscious of time. Yeah, we can just have a very.
Yeah.
因为我知道 Christina 你要找的这些 counselor 他们在台湾的地位等于是一个政府，所以你可能不知道。比如说 Joseph, everybody.
There's no direction.
Very pioneered, very famous, 就是很有名，他们很有名，而且都是台湾的经济的先驱者。
I know this. No, I say here.
I know. Everybody here, Chen Liang, everybody here.
I know that. We know that. That's why at the other meeting, I almost fell out of my chair because I'm like, oh my god.
那个朱磊，你太客气了啊，你太客气了。那个 also for the sake of time, Jason, do you want to talk something?
Is it okay if I make some suggestions based on what I saw in 2008?
Okay.
要吃饭还可以继续的。
这是我拍的2008年的纪录片，
就是我从那个时候的建议。OK， 在那个时候，侨委会和救国团他们的关系非常的好，就是说救国团非常不相信侨委会，所以我那个时候在拍纪录片，救国团非常不相信我。Anyway, I think that for the future, like if the program's going to be started, I think there needs to be a more stringent application process. Like not everyone should really get in because OCAC's attitude towards the students is based pretty much on how good are these schools. Like the students, like what schools do they go to? And if they come from better schools, they'll have a much better attitude towards them as far as like how much respect, how much resources we want to spend on them, and most importantly, whether or not they want to let them go out in the evening. Because there was an elite program in 2008 with Ivy League students, and they said, okay, you guys can go out, even though they're 18 years old. But if the students on the study tour program were like from Cal State or just from UC schools or something, they'd be like, oh no,太小了. Like they would have to like supervise it, and there was a huge conflict over this,
Different, yeah.
Okay. So I just think it needs to get back to where it was where like the government is trying to attract students from the better universities first. And in order to do that, there needs to be a lot of funding. Like the program needs to be top-notch again. Instead of like, let's cut funding,我们要对救国团不好，因为他们是蒋经国的人。Like this attitude is like really not good. Okay. And I think that there should be a personal essay in order to give students who don't go to the top university the chance to go. But it should be biased towards like older students. So because the younger students, if they can't get in, they still have chances to go. And I'm thinking the tour length should be 28 days, and there should be better political and historical education, because when they go to Songzhenjing and Tang, they don't know who anyone is. They don't know who Sun Yat-sen, they don't understand his relationship with Chiang Kai-shek or the Northern Expedition or anything. They're just like, all they know is that it's hot. It's too hot.
Yeah.
Okay. And in my opinion, a group like A, B, C, D, like should be like 6 buses, like a 35. That's 210 students. And the reason for that is because in 2008, there were only 3 Chinese levels, like advanced, intermediate, and beginner, and that's not good enough. There needs to be at least 6, because when I went on the tour in 2000, there were 8 Chinese levels, and everyone could get into the right level. And that's really important. So minimum 6, like 6 buses. And then I think in order to sell the
future program
the tour to the parents, I think like we should be touring like the AI companies and stuff like that, like NVIDIA, to like give their parents like a fantasy that their children can get a job at NVIDIA or something like that, And that's it.
Okay, I think you're
6 p.m. batch.
No, 9 p.m. batch check, and just let them go out. Let them go out earlier so that they'll come back earlier, so that not everyone gets sick, because they were forced to go out at midnight. They're going to go out no matter what, right? Then they stay out until 5 a.m. and then everyone's sick and coughing, right? So just like stop this complex.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Jason. I think this is a good suggestion from the ex-alumni, right? And to really understand, and we should have some empathy to the future youth, and also the nature of Taiwan. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for today, and we have concluded. And Jason, thank you so much. Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, 我们找机会大家聚一下。